Good morning.
Good morning. Top of the morning to you.
You too.
Yes. So, we're back. And it's been,
I feel like it's been a while.
it has, unfortunately, due to weather and everything else. And I know we talked like right away last time that we should just kick off the week by doing these on our Mondays.
Yes.
And we got a pretty nasty storm.
Mm-hmm.
So, it didn't go as planned
No.
to do that. To
No.
where I woke up Monday and immediately went and rescued people.
Yes, you did.
So, that's something I haven't really talked about, but I'm on the fire department.
Yeah.
Here.
I wanted you to
Again.
kind of talk about the ice storm and what you've been up to because it got crazy.
Yeah, so when did it really start?
Devastating.
People actually lost power.
Friday night.
Yeah, so it was like real early Saturday morning people lost power already.
Mm-hmm.
But what were they saying? Up to like a couple 100,000 customers.
Yeah, over 100,000 customers lost power.
So I thought I heard like upwards like 180 or something.
I did too. I just didn't want to
Yeah. Anyways,
overshoot
but
that.
kind of this northeastern part of the state, and then into the UP, and then it carried into upper Michigan, which honestly is probably the most devastating.
I didn't see any of that.
Well, that reel that you saw and I sent you was Gaylord, Michigan.
Oh,
So that was across the bridge, and I have some mutual kind of friends that still work in the woods that are from over that way, and it's really bad.
Mm.
And then Ponzi sharing some stuff of people trying to even get into their job sites and that. It's been a whirlwind. I mean, people showing up and their machines are completely encased by trees that have fallen over and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started out as basically just freezing rain, which then
A lot of it.
with the temps and stuff, I mean, everything was just covered in ice.
Thick ice.
And I think we ended up with close to 3/4 of an inch of ice. And then Sunday it started to snow.
Heavy snow.
And we woke up Monday morning to probably 6 inches on top of the ice.
Which the trees were already doubled over in ice, and then
Mm-hmm.
that snow added on top. Plus, most people got a lot of wind, which is why it was so
Yeah,
devastating
so
in other areas.
Yeah, so yeah, you couple that with the wind in certain areas, trees just snapping off at the top, snapping off in half, uprooting. A lot of them just doubled over.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of like saplings and small stuff, which honestly, like for the most part, was kind of what we dealt with here.
Yeah.
So there was a family that was kind of stranded. They were probably 3/4 of or so of a mile back into the woods. They have an old homestead they've bought about a year ago, and they ended up getting Jaden's contact from Rich and Sally, and they would be in our responding district for the fire department regardless, but actually reached out Sunday evening because that's when we got the call for that down channel line that was on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And we were on scene when he actually got that. And so we went and started with them right away. But it was about 3/4 of a mile. And that was honestly probably a little bit more of our heavy lifting for the day, honestly, because there were some bigger trees there. It's their whole road all the way in is like a pretty young generation of aspen. And a lot of that was doubled over, uprooted, snapped off. So we kind of just developed a system. We had like 4 of us. We went through and just lopped everything up, cut it off the stump so it was laying flat.
Yeah.
Anything that was bigger, we kind of threw off the road. But honestly, we just pushed it open with the plow trucks.
That was such a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than like
So
trying to cut everything up and move it by hand like that.
killing two birds with one stone
That
of
was such a good idea.
opening the road up because of the snow, obviously, and then just pushing the brush off to the sides.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just get access. Let's get people to where they need to be and stuff, and then we can worry about the brush when the snow and stuff's gone and weather's a little bit nicer if we need to. So that was kind of the plan. We just basically did that everywhere.
Yeah, I even helped a little bit.
That was yeah. So that was a big tree there.
That was
right in town.
And as we were throwing everything, off to the side, I'm like, oh my Lord heaven, that was loud.
Sorry. My coffee was stuck to my coaster.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but that crossed my mind when we were throwing everything to the side. I'm like, we should come back and clean all this up. Because I'm sure there's so much of that. But then, what was it, 2 days ago, I went into work and you don't understand.
Yeah, so we got really lucky where we're at here. And it was so strange because honestly, if you go about 20 minutes north of us, you get into the Upper Peninsula, and Iron River locally did not get a ton of rain. They didn't get much.
Not far from here.
And then honestly, you even get a little bit more further north or west of that, so like, which is typical, but like Waters Meet, I don't think got any rain, and they just got everything when it rained here that snowed there. So we were like right on that edge, but then kind of to the southeast or southwest, excuse me, it was much worse. So
much
I
worse.
mean, Crandon and Leona Wabino, like locally, probably got it the worst for our
And they
area.
still don't, there's people that still don't have power. This is day 5.
Yeah, and they're saying hopefully today, finally.
Day 5 without power. My mom just got it back yesterday. That was really hard. Just,
Well, I mean, even
you feel so helpless.
even legitimately smack dab in the middle of Crandon.
Oh yeah, it was.
Your dad got power before our babysitter did, or for daycare, right?
Yeah, and what are they, 3 blocks
They're
apart?
literally right in town.
Yeah. So they were doing like one street at a time.
Yeah, so they got power back finally Tuesday, literally right in town. It was like Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Which is just to give the scope of things of how bad it really was. Even the people that were honestly like accessible immediately, like still didn't have power. But yeah, just the pictures I've seen, a lot of the back roads and things. I mean, it's going to take a lot of time to get everything opened back up. And then
Yeah.
honestly, like some of the stuff is accessible to where it was just kind of go through, and everything that was downed or like leaned across so far that you couldn't get a truck under it, cut out of the way. But there's still going to be miles and miles and days worth of work to just go back through these roads because of like the saplings and all the stuff that's like doubled over and just like canopied over top of the
Yeah.
road. That is definitely a hazard. So it's all going to have to come down.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's just because it's never going to...
It's not like gonna thaw and just be fine.
It's never going to go back up. And that's the problem, is maybe if it would have happened, we woke up to that ice and it warmed up into the 40s or 50s and it all melted right away, like maybe. But all them trees just developed that...
5 days, yeah.
Well, and all that, them trees just developed memory now at this point, for sure. And will never spring back up to where they need to be. So, and then combine the hazards of all that, but now the probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of acres. I mean, for sure, tens of thousands of acres if you add in areas of the UP that got it, and then, of course, across the bridge in the upper Michigan of the timber that is just, now it's just salvage mode again. Like it was 5 or 6 years ago. When we had them straight line winds. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised now within the next 2 months, like we typically do, we're going to have a nasty storm. And because all of that stuff is already weak and leaning, that it's just going to go then.
Gonna be another disaster.
All of it will hit the ground finally then.
So when I went into work, it was the closer I got to Crandon, the worse it got. And it was so hard to see because at first leaving home, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty out. Like there's a few trees down here and there. And then the closer you got to Crandon, I could have cried. It was literally every tree insane, like every power line. right on G and 32 when I was turning towards Crandon. Getting off G, going towards Crandon.
Oh, see, you went through Argonne. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, because Argonne's really bad.
See, I heard like that stretch on like 32 of outside of Leona and stuff is bad.
I didn't go that way. I know. I didn't go that way either. I wanted to do Argonne, but I should have went that way on the way home. But the power lines, and all of a sudden it got sad. It was like, for a while, it was like, oh man. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a disaster. And then I was on the phone with my dad, and I'm like, do I call this in? I'm pretty sure they know of like all of this stuff, but there was a power line, like, and then I don't know the terminology, but like the big, I want to say cylinder on top of the power lines was touching the ground, and
Transformer.
yeah, that
They
was
knew.
horrible. And I'm like, they have to know. And then on my way back through that night, they were working on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like every power line was down.
So I
the
mean,
whole way to Crandon.
And that's just the example of the chaos that there really was, because that's on a main state highway. Like many people commute on that. A lot of people live on that stretch. And to just show an immediate state highway, easy accessible and stuff, but just a long laundry list that fell already into, for like what, 3, 4, 5 days later,
Well,
that they were finally getting to it.
yeah, how many?
And there's, I mean, from Anio north here, there's hundreds of linemen, between public service, We Energies, MJ was doing stuff. I saw Michael's reported some people. And then Asplund was in the area just clearing trees. They can't do any electrical work, but helping out that way. And, to be honest, it should have been declared a state of emergency right away when people woke up Saturday and saw how bad areas already were.
I know.
And without power, and then knowing the weather that was coming yet. And to be honest, what was it yesterday? They finally went through with the state that declared it.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody wants to, say it was political because of the recent election, that they were hoping that people up here, because they're starting to say that the Northwoods is, kind of the tipping point of which way elections are going to go, and hoping that people can get out and vote, which I hope isn't the case, but you really never know, and you can't put it past them down there.
Yeah, don't say anything to them because they might be able to go vote. Jeez.
And it sounds like the fair majority of people kind of realized that and got out anyways.
I wonder if poll numbers were down.
So from what I saw, I mean, we won't get political, but it was like, for this kind of an election, it was like the highest turnout I think ever.
What? Holy crap, you would think the opposite.
I mean, they were saying like down in Milwaukee that they were actually running out of ballots at polling locations.
Oh, well, that's Milwaukee.
Yeah, but I mean, they are generally, good with that, but I don't know. We won't get into it, but another very strange election.
Yeah.
So.
That one.
But.
Anyway.
Yeah, so it's been a very chaotic few days, and this fell behind.
Yeah, with no power and family not having power and trying to figure out work and clients, and
we were fortunate.
We were very lucky.
We were fortunate to really only lose power for like half the day on Sunday.
6 hours or something, which I have no idea how.
Which is crazy because typically when we do have bad storms, it's the opposite.
Usually we get
we're the
end of the stick.
We're the ones without power, and then your mom and all them are completely fine. But I mean, nobody's really prepared to be without power for that long. Like honestly, even for us, it makes me want to, but like legally, the only way you can, like, I don't know how it works, and there's zoning laws and there's everything to go into it, but to do it right, like to have an on-demand generator that as soon as your power kicks off, like knocks off, that kicks on all on its own.
Yeah, it's an investment.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Lamers, he's on a department, he was talking about it. He put a new Generac in last year, and a big one because he's powering a shop and everything on it. It was like $8,000.
Yeah, I talked to a client on the phone yesterday. She said that they did theirs 2 years ago and it was 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness gracious.
So it wouldn't be that bad for us. We could get by with a small one here. But I don't know what it would all entail to do it. But it honestly makes me consider wanting to do something like that. And it is an investment because it's going to add some value to your home,
That's what I was just going to say is
you know. So it's
living up here, it's good to have that.
wouldn't be a terrible idea. Because we do have a little bit of a smaller home in that, I mean, it wouldn't, what, like maybe at most we wouldn't be able to like, you know, cook food at the same time as like the TV or something. Not like
Yeah.
we couldn't pull too much power, but at least it would like keep the heat on and the lights on.
Refrigerator and heat.
Yeah.
We would be fine.
Yep.
I mean, we have enough lighting that we would be fine.
Yeah, I could use my my power bank, which we kind of were gonna do.
Yeah.
Like I had it charged up and stuff that if we needed to, like honestly, like we could plug our Starlink into it if we really needed internet.
Which,
Which really doesn't matter, but like I have the studio lights and everything that way that like we could have powered that stuff and kept, you know, phones charged and, you know, we could have whatever, we had to plug the iPad in to, you know, have some entertainment, but we're beyond it hopefully. And I think that was Mother Nature's last hurrah for the winter,
it
spring.
better be.
Yeah, I hope so because
I was talking to the girls last night. I don't know if you heard them talking, but they said like winter's over there. Like they're having 60s consistently now.
yeah, but they just had a little bit of snow the other day.
Just a little bit, yeah. But now their forecast looks great. I'm like, a-holes.
Yeah, I
Oh.
mean, I saw Eric scheduled a bunch of strike teams already at the kennel. So
I know she wants me to come over.
yeah, we'll have to.
It's the week after Easter, but that's going to be like a really crazy time.
We could think about it and see what's all going on. I mean, I want to keep those dates in mind too because if I do find myself over that way for work, I could always bring Willow with me,
Yes.
and then just tell Mike that I want to hit that because they're normally late in the evenings, you know. So it shouldn't really be a problem. But can kind of kill two birds with one stone while I'm over there.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely want to do some of those.
More of those.
Yep, and then we obviously have Strike Force in June.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see who we're going to do that with.
Yeah, hopefully
So-
we could get enough people together to just do that big one. Otherwise, we're kind of limited because
Yeah. So I
there's
don't.
always something else also going on in the cities for that weekend. It seems like,
I know.
which then ties up a lot of the area hotels.
Yeah,
and
like
that.
how is the Best Western really full in New Richmond, Wisconsin? Like you really think they got 400 rooms booked that weekend?
Well, they never go to full capacity.
A-holes. They should. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know what
Staffing.
it probably is a staffing shortage is always the excuse because they got to keep everything clean. So how
I
can
get
they,
that, but come on, man.
you know, go through and clean every room every day and night or whatever they
That's
do?
a lot of rooms. So if you guys don't remember, Strike Force is the big dog training weekend in New Richmond, and reached out to all of our friends on there yesterday and was like, hey, does anybody want to rent an Airbnb or have room in theirs? And some good friends reached out to us and said, like, let's do it. Let's find one and see what or who wants to come in with us. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm hoping for that big cabin. If we can even get another person, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, because that's actually pet friendly.
It is.
Otherwise, it's just like we're gonna keep the dogs in the crates. Like it really isn't a priority.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like we
I
find
just don't want to piss anybody off.
we find a place that's got a garage, or if it's good enough weather, nice enough out. Like
I mean, you know, all those have outdoor cameras, and I'm like, if they see our dogs running around shitting in their yard, they won't be happy.
yeah, but there's laws with that stuff. Like they have to let you know that there's cameras on site and stuff. So, like I know I looked at one that said that there was a camera facing the driveway, but it was due to like community ordinances and keep an eye on traffic or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I'm just trying to cover their bases on it. But yeah, I mean, like I don't think they can have cameras without you at least being aware that
Right.
they're there. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah, that area is really bad for Airbnbs. There's really not a lot around. There's like a
which is so strange.
little apartment in town, and then yeah, there's a little townhouse, but that townhouse that you were looking at, the reviews were not very good on it. So I was like, oh, geez. Just cleanliness was horrible. Like things were not clean at all. It's just some young girl that has it and rents it out when she's not there, and it's just not taken care of well. But that will be a really fun weekend. I'm excited to see what they're doing this year because they had an awesome one last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a really fun weekend, and then obviously to,
This is our
link back up with people. This will be the third.
right. I'm just thinking that there was 2 years we didn't have Willow there.
We had her as a puppy, and then we didn't have her we didn't have her last year because she was in advanced. And because she was kind of struggling.
We haven't had her since a puppy. Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, she was like the talk of the town for the first one
Yeah,
because
now
this
she's
little 8-month-old is, running 200-yard marks,
like nothing. Stepping on them.
Start out in puppy and we're running intermediate by the end of it.
Yeah, we were. We're like, can we do something more than this? Like, she's kicking ass. Yeah, she's a rock star, but I hope she doesn't make an ass, or I don't make an ass out of her. That's the one I want to say. I hope I don't make an ass out of her. Fuck you. I did not mean that. I hope I don't make an ass out of her because she is a good dog, but we
have a lot of time, and it's again like we got back into training mode ourselves, and then this weather hit.
like we are not in a location that I can train every single day.
We are.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. We can go up to
Think
the park.
about being in like Tennessee, for example. Like you have decent weather to
Okay,
work
well,
with
you're talking
all the
about
time.
that. You're talking about that, but like when weather's decent, like we could be out every single day.
When weather's decent,
Yeah, and
which
I mean,
is how
even during the winter. I mean, obviously when it's super cold, it's just hard. Mm-hmm. Like to have the energy and ambition to go stand in the cold for a half hour like that, and then get cold and full of snow and everything.
So I was talking about this the other day. I'm like, it's one thing for me to like bundle up, take Willow out, get a few reps in, fine. I have a 4-year-old. I have
Yeah.
to bundle her up. I have to get her out in the freezing cold for a half hour. I don't have just the dog and me to worry about. If it was just me, I'd be fine. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care. I'll go for a cold walk in the mornings with her. But it's like I have her. I can't take Avery with me. What am I supposed to do? So I do feel like that is a limiting thing.
Yeah, especially in the winter. If I'm not around, then yeah, that's a definite factor. But I mean, there was a few days that was really nice, like mid to high 20s at least, where I got out when we had a bunch of snow on the ground.
Yeah,
know
I've
what I
trained
mean?
with her on the snow too.
And honestly, it was a really good pile of work and blind work for her because she wasn't going to see the bumpers.
No.
I just kind of hollowed out an area where the bumpers were going to be so that when she got to that area, like they were visible, not buried in snow.
Yeah.
But then she just pounded in a good line too. You know what I mean? So I think it also helped keep her straight.
Yep.
Which was nice. And honestly, I mean, like you can equate it to obviously when you have the grounds and stuff, you can, actually cut lines in and help keep them straight to where that snow kind of did the same thing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
To be honest, like if we had a snowblower, like we could just
Do it.
snow blow lanes in the snow and work all winter long when the weather's nice.
I know. Yeah. I just keep thinking we need to push on her because I think this was another conversation that I had the other day. I feel, you can argue me, that we don't work her consistent enough. So when I do work her, I feel like we have to go over what she already knows, and that doesn't leave much opportunity for like pushing her on new things.
Okay, so what else do we need to push her on when it comes to new things?
5 point. She needs to be able to run more than 3 lines in a blind. Like, I should be able to put her wherever I want wagon wheel. We haven't done any of that.
No,
we haven't.
I understand that.
And that's a big deal. That's going to be big for her.
I'm going to argue a little bit because we do not do any trials. We do not run her. And for what we need in a good duck dog, it's just fine tuning what she does know. It's because every single time it's just a straight back for her out in the field.
Unless we need a handler.
Yeah, but she handles fine.
Yeah. Well, she could be better.
Well, of course, she's always going to be able to be better, but like she's got the basic fundamentals and stuff. So like it's not like we need to add a ton of stuff. Like it's progress into maybe like moving piles closer together to just little
5
things. Yeah, like we could basically stick with in a sense like 3 point, but put like, first and third more on an angle. You know what I mean? So that it's just three to continue to start, and then we add the other two in to make it five.
So,
You know, wagon wheel I can get, but I feel like she'd probably be fine. Because she does, she whistle sits fine and does a comeback no problem.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you want to sit her in the middle and just spin and send her back, I honestly feel like she'd probably kill it.
But that's what I want to get good at because
You better go buy yourself a whole box of bumpers.
I know, babe.
But
I know. But that's something that I want to work on is just her trusting me. I mean, I don't know that she would do good because when we go to the park, she knows her 3 piles.
we've done more than 3.
Well, yeah, the cheater ones on the side.
Well, not even the cheater ones. Like we've set out. I mean, during duck season, we were doing 5 piles. Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Because I was throwing them out.
Yeah, I just always call those side ones cheaters. The ones next to us.
Well, what do?
And then
That's what it's going to be. You're going to have 2 straight off. You're going to have, and then at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just, unless if you want to push it out and you whistle stop her but then that's more of a handling drill than it is blinds.
Mm-hmm.
Because for her a good blind is you don't have to handle her.
also, like when we get to strike force, she is not going to be prepared for the length of
Well, we need to just,
the marks and blinds.
Yeah, we have opportunities. We just
How
need
far
to.
do you think ours are right now?
We can push her to probably a good, maybe 150.
You think
to
it's
the
that
back
far?
to the back of the fence.
Wow.
If we start at like the court, and I mean honestly, we could probably like be a little bit more tough on, I guess, on her feet maybe, but like start on the other side of the court and let her run through the court and down into the field. But I mean, if we start at the edge there to that straight back fence, or we could do corner to corner.
Yeah. Remember when we tried to do that? She was like, "What in the world are you sending me to?"
Well, but that's really no fault to her because
No,
she's
not at
just
all.
so used to the same thing every
That's
time
what
at
I
the
was
same
just
place.
saying is like the three piles in the same spot, and then we try to send her to something new, and she's like, "Wait a minute, that's what we need to get better on." Is like I know that you know that those $100 bills are there, right? But geez. So Josh uses a really good analogy for the dogs is like, so when it comes to like the dummy piles, that dog knows that I just ran out there and there's $100 bills sitting here and oh my gosh, I have to go back and get more $100 bills. But if you send them somewhere else and they don't know that there's a $100 bill there, they're going to go to where the $100 bill was.
So do you want to know what right now, if he was in on this conversation, what he would argue if Willow's struggling doing that?
What?
Obedience.
Oh, of course.
So it's not that she's not wanting to go to another pile or that she doesn't trust that there's 5 piles out there. It's that she just doesn't think she has to.
Well, why would she go to potentially nothing when there's a $100 bill over here?
It's because
It's
she's
because of
obedient.
Yeah, she's not listening.
So like she's capable.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's where like you're like overly critical. It sounds like that she just doesn't know. She's got all the tools. We could add as much as we want. It's just if she's listening that day, if she's in tune with us, like that's the big disconnect. Like you're very critical after the fact of like, well, we're not doing enough. She doesn't know enough. We're behind. We're this. We're that. And then you get out in the field and you feel like you need to tiptoe your way through. And then like you say like, well, now my kid wants to go home or I'm just out of time. And it's like, that's not my approach out there at all.
So
Like I push on her right away.
So you're telling me you don't do the same 3 piles when you're out there?
I mean, I do, but I'm not. But everybody does. You go to
Right.
Riverstone and you do what Josh is doing. Like the piles are in the same spot every single time.
Maybe.
They are. How many times were we there when they're doing their lining drills up at the on the hill?
Oh, yeah, that way.
I mean,
That's
they have 5 or 8 piles, but I
training.
mean, when they start out, like how many times were we there, and it was like running her on the same 2 or 3 every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
where I'm adding in things, I'm moving like the lengths of the piles, how far
One
I'm pushing
thing
her.
that so one thing that I was talking with someone about the dog training is that I asked why they did something in a video. I was like, can I ask, like, total curiosity, what was your thought process behind doing that? Because I'm always open to learning that stuff. And it was just to keep her listening. So that's like the obedience work in these simple, like, line drills that we're doing. Like, we can whistle stop her and send her back and all of that stuff. But continuing to, like, yeah, you need to listen to me is something that I've been working on because Willow is a dog that wants to please you so bad that if she thinks she knows the answer, she's going to avoid what you're saying and just like try her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the last time I went out and trained her, I was working on whistle stopping her close to the pile, even though it's like right there, I want to grab it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, like sit down and then let me send you back to it. And I was so proud of her because she stopped literally like feet over the bumper and she didn't grab it. She just looked at me and then I like gave it to her. And that's something that I've been working on is like, just, I know that you know what you're doing, but now you have to listen to me while you're doing it.
Yeah, and that's like
And the
kind of.
person that I talked to, she whistle stopped her dog on the way back with the bumper. And I was like, why did you stop her on the way back? Like, isn't that the full reward for like your dog to get to bring it to you? And she's like, she needs to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she knows what she's doing and she's doing it right, she still needs to listen. And I'm like, I don't know if Willow would whistle stop on the way back with the bumper. Like, she's so excited to bring it to you that it would just be another obedience portion of like,
She'd definitely be confused, but I think if she got it once, she'd be fine.
yeah.
She'd understand.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's
'Cause
something that she's getting much better with, and maybe it's just the little bit of maturity that we're seeing, but like we can handle her multiple times now. There was a period of time where if you blew that whistle twice in a session, she was just like, what the
mm-hmm.
hell is going on? And
Mm-hmm.
she would just kind of break down. But now, I mean, I honestly, I was pushing on her last time in the sense of like, how much can you handle? And in a loving way, like I'm not being mean, but I whistle and like handled her a lot that
Mm-hmm.
last session and she handled it perfectly. But that is a dog that I feel like we're figuring out we can read her pretty well. Like we can tell when that dog is like not fully in or a little bit off or whatever. But like that day that me and you went, for example, like she was punchy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that girl was on fire. I think we could have done anything to her that day and she was just on it.
Mm-hmm.
And like other days, she's kind of like unsure or not so confident, whatever. I mean, she does it all, but you can just tell with her when things
That's
aren't.
But that's just the importance of
Yeah, I'm.
that handler to dog,
Mm-hmm.
crossover
Yeah,
is being able to.
I can see that lack of confidence come and go. I like that in her because she's showing me that like, no, mom, I'm good. I got
So
this.
then, and those are opportunities that if you sense that, like, I wouldn't just immediately stop. I would try to dumb it down, like
Yeah. Oh,
baby steps into it. Because there's some days you can just throw her to the goal and she's gonna nail it.
yeah.
And then there's other days like, okay, we gotta,
Work through this
let's
here.
work on hitting a single first before you
Mm-hmm.
think you can go do a home run, and she's getting there, and I think maturity's gonna do wonders for her, and I
Mm-hmm.
think we're starting to see it. Like, I mean, she's in the middle of a heat cycle right now, and the last couple of training sessions have been during that. And if there's been any time that she should be off, it should be probably now,
Yeah.
and she's not.
No.
Like, honestly, not doing much with her throughout the winter, and to jump back into it the way she's been, like, you have to, you have to, I think, be a little bit more gracious on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're so quick to want to be critical that, you know, we're not consistent. We're
I
not
just
this, and
see
we're not
people
this,
that
and
like.
she's not this, and she's not that, and she doesn't this, and she doesn't that. And it's just like, Brittany,
I know you holler at me with this a lot.
Like, don't think that everybody trains every single day. The majority of the country gets inclement weather. I mean, look at how it was in Arkansas this year for me.
Mm-hmm.
So even late into the season and stuff, like it's cold and it's nasty and it's shitty down there, and then now they're dealing with nothing but downpouring rain and storms and tornadoes and everything every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nasty flood warnings down there right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when it's nice up here, people are dealing with that. They're dealing with rain. When are we going to get it in? It won't stop raining. Oh, hurricane. Oh, tornado. Like, it could be, everybody's got excuses, is what I'm getting to.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody is out every single day. Unless if you're a professional trainer and it's your obligation because you're getting paid to do so, there's a difference. But that's why we send our dog there.
Yeah.
Because we know she's going to get to work every single day because we know we can't.
Mm-hmm.
Between work and family and weather and everything that way, like, like if it's a little drizzle, like, sure, we'll go out. It's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a torrential downpour and thunder and lightning, yeah, we're not going.
No.
And even on a training standpoint, like if you're getting paid to do it, like there's times you're not going to either because it's a safety concern.
Mm-hmm.
So you try to do what you can. You do place board work, you do hold conditioning. Like there's things you can do inside too.
I think we can do more inside. Like, I know it's Avery, but that like find it game, Willow absolutely loves doing that.
Hide and seek with her.
Hide and seek
Stuffy.
with her Stuffy. Yep. Avery will go hide it somewhere in the house and just come back and say back, and then she has to search the house for it.
So that's good for her nose.
Yeah, Willow absolutely loves it. I sent a snap to the girls the other day. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that this wears Willow out more than like running 3.10 times. She was so like mentally exhausted, and then she just crashed. I'm like, that's good for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's forcing her to not use her eyes, which has been something that she struggled with early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that very well could be how we started her out too. I mean, as an 8-month-old, she was completely sucked in with her eyes.
Yeah.
And she's like, ooh, and everybody's
I can
excited.
see
And
all
I
this,
went and
yeah.
got a bumper and I went so far and like it was so fun and the grass is over my face and like I could, you know what I mean, little puppy brain. And then like the one thing she probably remembers is like, oop, I saw it. What am I seeing? What am I seeing?
Where is it? Mm-hmm.
To where you get to these levels, like it's like it's not on your eyes.
Well,
It's
that's
on me.
why,
It's on
you know,
hands.
in
It's
the
on whistles. It's
in the advanced course, she never sees a mark. When you go to advanced by Josh, you never see a mark. It is all without your eyes. So I'm sure that was, well, I know it was a transition for her.
yeah. I mean, and that's the reason why she wasn't at Strike Force last year. Is well, for one reason, like she was only a few weeks into into it, right? We were thinking about pulling her out to run Strike Force, and then she could just go back
Well,
in.
we were having some pretty long phone conversations with Josh just on her like lack of confidence. He was struggling with her at her side. Like she would just kind of crumble. She didn't know. And when she didn't know, she wouldn't do anything. She was just lost. So once he got her through that, and then we went and got her and pushed her at home, I think I saw her like she did really good at home.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, she was there for the bulk of last summer. I think out of like the 15 or 16 weeks, she made it like 12, between 10 and 12, I want to say.
12.
So she made the bulk of it, and
Which is what we needed.
yeah, and I mean they could have kept pushing on her, but I think she was just tapped out. And I actually had a phone conversation with Scott. That's his pup is there now this summer.
For advanced?
Yep. He's like, what? Did she just get homesick? That's really honestly in a way what it was. Because we went there when we were thinking about picking her up, and Josh is like, there's just times where like the whole wheels falls off, and like she's just completely lost, and then there's times where she's like top 2 or 3 dogs in the kennel right now.
Yeah.
And she still has her moments that kind of correlate with that, but it's much further and fewer between.
She needs a cheerleader, and when she has one, she'll do anything you ask.
She is a...
I need to know I'm doing it.
If you sense or see any hesitation, you need to give her a good girl.
Yes.
And she's like, okay,
Honestly.
okay.
Honestly, she'll shut down, and if you say, good girl, she's like, okay, I can do this.
So I talked about it very early on, but like the prime example is me. It was at solo hunt I was on. We had skim ice, shallow water, and I got a limit of birds by myself that day. But I had one that sailed behind me. It was a nice big fat greenhead. And I left it until things kind of slowed down and hopefully things warm up that, some of that ice would break up. Because, like, I wasn't back there at all. So it, like, landed, like, ploosh broke through the ice. I mean, it was probably, like, a quarter inch. Not much. And I knew it was going to be a challenge because she's never had to
Never
deal with
done
ice.
ice.
You know what I mean? So, like, to break through that ice and keep going, and it feels weird, and the sound, and it's loud, and, I knew, and she...
And it was a blind on top of that.
So it was like an immediate back, and I mean, she full head of steam ran in, and she made it about, I don't know, 30, 40 yards, and she kind of froze up and wanted to come back. I'm like, okay, just come back and let's reset. And I sent her again, and, she took the same line, and, like, I knew where she started to stall, and I'm like, good girl. And she kind of turned and looked, and finally she realized she could jump and she could break through. She'd jump and she could break through. And, like, the whole way, like, after she froze the first time, when she got to that point of where I knew she'd probably run into problems again, I'm like, good girl, good girl, good girl. And, like, I sound like an idiot on camera, but, like, it was perfect.
Good.
And I think I even had to stop her and send her over. I don't know. I have it on camera. I should take a look at it. But, I mean, she did great to the point where I had a group of green wings come in later in the hunt, and I got two. Or did I only get one? I don't remember. One was a little bit further out, and it was like in a pocket of open water, but it was drifting out. And I'm like, ooh, we should probably get that. And she had to kind of go through our decoys over some ice and then into it, and she was fine.
Good.
So it was just kind of like, once she builds that confidence the first time and knows that it's okay and she's doing it right, like, she just immediately, like, oop.
Well, like, you can't blame a dog for hesitating in ice.
Of course, and
Like,
first time, like, no, I knew.
No, I know you didn't blame her. I'm just saying, like, of course she was going to be hesitant, and she needed that little bit of, like, a good girl, you're doing it right. Keep going.
Yeah, and it's also there was confidence in it with me too, because I thought as soon as she touched the ice that she was gonna be done. And she kept powering through, and then got to a point of like, ooh, like, this is completely different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think all of a sudden, like, that excitement and that adrenaline wore off a little bit, and then, oop, something's different here. Never been here like this. I've never, like, this is like, what's going on? And then kind of like turn, and I think it was more of a dad help me kind of a thing when she first kind of broke down. But I don't know. I think I brought her all the way back and kind of regrouped and praised her and told her, like, it's okay and everything, and sent her again. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, like, I understood that pretty early on, all of a sudden, of like, ooh, you need to encourage her.
Well, I'm thinking of a specific situation at the strike team in New Richmond when she wouldn't come back across the pond. She wanted to, like, cheat and go on land. And you're like, say good girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, why? Like, I don't talk to her like that at home. I don't do the Willow. I don't talk to her like that. And then at that strike training, like, there's so many people around, and I'm like, what are you doing? But then once I said good girl, she, like, swam across the pond like she was the best dog in the world.
And so that's a great example of where you should refrain from having a little bit of that negativity, because that was an extremely challenging situation. Because you watch Zach and Zeb struggle with that. And Zeb is a phenomenal
good dog.
He's amazing, and Zach he's an amazing trainer and does really, really good with him too. And you saw them struggle, but, like, to give people that are just listening the context of, like, there was a pile on a point, but you were, like, literally no less than 5 yards or no more than 5 yards off the bank in the water, and you wanted her to swim to the point, grab that bumper,
Stay in the water,
and turn around and come and swim back through the water, when she could have took a step or two steps to, like, it would have been her left to return back on land and cheat on the way back, technically.
well, of course.
Which 90% of dogs are going to do.
Why wouldn't they?
But for, that good, trained, obedient dog is, like, going to take the same exact line coming back as it went there. And even for her to swim the entire way, I mean, and not want to, like, even enter the water and jump on the land halfway there. And I think it took a couple attempts for you, but, like, for her to accomplish that, like, that's a challenging thing for seasoned dogs, for really good high-level advanced dogs. And I mean, at the time, she would have only been a couple years old, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking that same night, I was trying to send her to a mark that wasn't there.
Oh,
Wait, it was there. There was one there that a other dog didn't get, but the mark that she saw was on the other side of the finger on the point. And I was like, "What are you doing? Like, you watched that fall." No, she watched the other one fall. And I'm like, "Whoops. Sorry, Willow."
yeah, yeah, that stuff happens.
She's like, "Mom, it's right over here." I'm like, "Damn it, dog, over." Oh, gosh, that was funny. That was my fault.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why didn't anybody tell me, you a-holes?" Everyone's standing behind me like, "What the hell was Brittany doing?" And I'm like, "Come on, help me out. I'm no professional. Tell me what to do."
But I think the next thing, the best thing we could do for her to push her and for her to develop more is to just continue to put her in different situations. I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, we are in the same spot every single time. And even going to strike force, she might be like, "What? I've never done this. What am I doing?"
I'll be curious to see too, because maybe her sitting there at heel and or on a place board and watching the other dogs go like might give her confidence.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
You know, if there's some good
She'll
dogs.
be amped up.
I mean, because it's gonna be hard to want to run her in intermediate. I think she would
No.
nail all that
Heck
stuff.
no.
I mean, there'll be some basic handling and stuff there. So, I mean, we'll see. Who knows what they have in the works for this year?
She's in advance.
No, I know that. I know that. But I mean, there can be obviously some extremely challenging stuff in there too. And that's obviously the point though, is if you can find your dog's tipping point as well, it's like, okay, I know what to work on.
Yeah, I think we're gonna learn a lot that weekend.
So, I mean, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, in a sense, failure is where, growth happens. And even for her, and then it's like, okay, how can we come back and recreate, those situations? And we have some opportunities, like we could go out to the gun range and use that. It's just a straight, whatever it is, 300 yards back and some berms. I mean, we can't really.
Another thing that I literally just thought of, and I'm like, where else can we train? Where else can we train? Now, could we go to a football field somewhere? Sure. I don't know, right? I would think
don't
those
know
are open to the public to play on.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
I know one at the school, people use it all the time. Like, just randomly on the weekends and stuff.
Maybe like practice field.
Right.
But like the actual football field, I know for like Florence, like nobody could be on that.
It's all open in Leona.
Yeah, but like the public could come and like walk the outdoor track, but that was it.
So, but the thing that I just thought of is we should reach back out to Dory and Jimmy and see if maybe we could go train out there.
Or down there with them.
No, like here. Their land here.
There's nothing. It's wooded, honey.
We don't know. What if there's an open spot? Like, that's what I mean. We should go look at it and see if we could do anything there.
It's just a couple acre wooded lot.
Yeah, maybe it's not all wood. Maybe there's like openings that we could do blinds in and
Maybe. I mean, if you want to do that, like
yeah, we don't know what it looks like. That's all I'm saying is let's go look at it and see.
Back road areas we could go to. We could go out to where we hunt grouse. That's a big field.
Yeah.
That area. I mean, there's places if you want to do that.
There's lots of wolves there.
Okay.
Sorry.
Bring a gun with. But.
Careful.
Yeah, I mean, it's not illegal if a wolf is attacking your dog to kill it.
I know.
Like self-defense.
But yeah, just training in new places.
Yeah, I think that would be
pushing her.
And I honestly think that's might be what we're gonna see even here. Like she might start nailing everything here because she built a ton of confidence throughout season. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of confidence throughout season.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't very often that we hunted the same exact spot. And even if we did, it was never the same exact thing.
I mean,
I guess we hunted an area pretty religiously in a sense, but like there was never a retrieve that was the same. The decoy spread was always different. The situations were always different. The amount of times we shot, the amount of times we called,
Yeah, those gray ducks that were really far, really, really far out there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it'll all be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I was just trying to think of like last season. I feel like she only struggled like a few times. Like that dog was really, really good.
Yeah, and again, if you could replay in your mind how the beginning of season went compared to the end,
Oh yeah.
like a world of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
The confidence she gained, and
Yeah,
I mean, we start from teal season to, like she had her first true blind. Like I had her out by myself that time on 9 Mile, and she got her first, triple, all 3 marks, no, not a problem.
oh yeah, she's a badass with that stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of dogs out there that struggle with that.
That's what I mean. She's a badass. She
So like
did
I
really
didn't
good.
have to handle her or like consider any of them a blind. There was multiple times we had, 4 or more ducks down in the water.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she had some far retrieves. We watched her battle some that wanted to dive on her.
Oh my gosh.
A couple. I mean, she got
She got geese in her mouth
what'd she
this
get?
year too.
3 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 3. I got that one during teal season and early goose.
Mm-hmm. On the point at our spot.
No, early teal.
I know. I'm thinking of the next one.
Oh, yeah. And that was like, was that like almost opening weekend or somewhere around then? But yeah, we got one there, and then
She struggled with a diver the same day that we got that goose.
yeah, it was like a little teal or something, or maybe a mallard. I don't remember what it was, but yeah. We should have had that late in the season. We should have had like 3 or 4 geese on the water. Remember that one?
Mm-mm.
We called about 25 geese in, and they broke in half, and we had half of them within range and never shot.
Yep. And then I was really, really mad at myself. I called in what was it, like 6 or 8 while you were in the boat. Called them in. They were circling me. They were circling me. They were circling me. I was getting really nervous because you were coming back and you didn't know that I was working them. And I'm like, I have to take a chance if I get one because he's going to come back and scare all these geese out of here. And I just worked them. So I shot way before I should have. And yeah, it was depressing.
Happens a lot with you.
Jimmy? Shooting too early? What are you talking about? Are you making fun of me?
Shooting too early, or obviously shooting and not getting anything.
Yeah. What time is it?
A little early, 6:30.
Oh, tell her to go to sleep.
You can yell at her kid if you want.
I've been with her for so many days. I'm like, go to sleep, kid.
Yeah.
She's in a touchy phase right now.
Well, she's not used to you being home.
No.
So that's a definite factor. And when you're home during the day, she
Yeah.
wants to, I get a day with mama. Mm-hmm. Not really realizing she's used to me being home and it being work. Mm-hmm. She's not used to you being home and it being work.
No.
To where like you stayed home yesterday due to the weather again and road conditions and that. And like you occupied yourself and have a fair bit of work to do.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, we picked up, have we talked about, do you want to?
No.
Okay.
Careful.
No, I know. But like we have a new client and you're carrying a good workload of doing a lot of like side stuff for them
Yeah.
as far as like their ambassador and like influencer program.
Yeah.
And in a sense, it's been kind of dormant for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And they're wanting to kick it back up and kind of hand those reins and obligations over to somebody. And that was something that you struck up a conversation with. Mm-hmm. And it's coming with a lot of work.
Yeah.
Of like touching base with all these people and like looking at all of their social media and when was the last time they posted and are they active and like did they fit the mold and like
Yeah, I know.
So there's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stayed really busy yesterday.
Mm-hmm. But she's not used to that.
I can. Never mind, I just answered my own question. I was going to say, can I get a smart mouse for my iPad? But I can. I need to order one because it was kind of...
All one cellular trackpad.
Yeah, I'm getting frustrated.
Yeah, I mean...
Touching the screen or trackpad.
Could you use mine?
I don't know.
You could try mine, and then that would give me an excuse to buy a better one.
Uh-huh. Saw that coming.
You would buy a cheap little one anyways.
I know.
to where if I got like a nicer one, actually like you get like a gaming mouse technically, but it's got all the extra buttons on the sides and stuff, and you can program all them buttons to like my blade tool for like trimming and like my selecting tool and like all the different things for editing.
Yeah.
So I'm not like using keys. I'm just everything's right with a mouse for the most
Yeah.
part. It'd be really nice. Because that one I have has got like 2 buttons, I think, extra ones. But anyways, are we gonna do a little bit of a shorter one here and cut her off?
I suppose. We talk dogs.
We talked Willow, Miss Little Willow girl. She's a good dog. She can get a little annoying, but I think every dog can.
That's the Sally coming out in her.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Wit.
She is a needy dog. Like, you pet her, and then she wants it 100 times more.
Yeah, and she's a competitive dog in a sense too. And when we have the other one, we have Diz in here kind of laying around. Like Diz always lays at your feet right in front of the couch. And she's like, what is Diz doing? What is Diz doing? Ooh, she's getting attention. I need it too. Like, you know what I mean? So there's kind of that. And then, yeah, if you give her any love, she's like, okay, you better not stop.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, she can't get enough. So very needy that way. I just want her to chill. Just lay here and just
you
be
hate
happy that you're laying on me.
You hate it, but there's times you take Diz away and she's gone, and Willow is the sweetest little girl. She'll come down in the office
hate it.
and lay by my feet. She'll lay on the floor. She'll lay on her place. She's just
The more
chill.
she's in here, the better she is.
Yeah, 100%. But you know, the day's gonna come where unfortunately she's probably gonna be the only dog here for a while, and it's gonna be. She's probably gonna go through a very depressed phase. But I think it'll give. You really see then of how different of a dog she is. Because when she is like alone, or even honestly like when we're just kind of chill, and if we do leave like Diz outside or in the entryway and we just kind of let Willow in here to chill for a while by herself, like you can see that right away.
She's really good, yeah.
So, which is a bummer. Like I don't, it'd be nice if they can just kind of chill out, and
Yeah.
because they're used to just being together all day. They're used to playing. But she's getting better, and we touched on it already, but like she's a dog that's gonna kind of reach that full maturity a little bit later than normal. I mean, what is she now? 2.5?
2.5. In June, it'll be like a half. May, June, something like that.
And I know when we talked to Lewis, he said once those dogs cross over 2, they really start to...
I've seen it. I think just in the last couple months, I've seen a lot of maturity in her. And then I talked to somebody else that said like 2 to 3, they mature a ton. So I'm anxious to see like what this season will bring.
Yeah, we
so much fun.
Might really progress really well through this year, this summer with her. So
Yeah, we'll put some clips up of her and show you guys how cute she is. She is really cute. She's got a colic that goes all the way down her nose. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, she's a pretty dog.
She's really proportioned well. Like
Yeah,
me and Whitney and Jamie always laugh about it, but it's like not all dogs are cute.
Yeah.
And we got a cute one. Like we see so many dogs over there at the kennel, and those pretty ones really stand out. And I'm not biased. She actually is a gorgeous dog.
Yeah, and I mean this is our first black lab. And I don't regret it.
Oh gosh, no.
So
She's gorgeous.
I'd get another one. So I'd like to get a. I don't know. We'll see when the time comes, but I'd like to get a
A male is tempting.
So I have a cool name that I want to name him.
Tell us.
Flex.
Yep. Got a Flex.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a sick fucking dog name.
Yes, it is. It really is. I can't wait.
But I think just to kind of tie it to obviously like my love for the gym and fitness and stuff, but I don't know. But yeah, like you just said, kind of flex on them. But also because
you can say it.
Heard it from a smart ass once before that you don't need to spend no $3,000 on a good dog. You can go to the pound and get one. That's just nothing but a flex.
Yep.
Like, ooh.
I like that.
Thanks for the name.
Yep.
So.
Thanks for the ideas. Yeah, she'll give us puppies next year. I don't think we'll take one out of that, but maybe her last litter will.
No, I think it'd be good timing.
But now
maybe
I'm
that second
also,
litter,
I did have thoughts that like
because
in the contract you can either take a puppy from the litter, get reimbursed, or get a credit for a different litter. So if they have some really good studs coming in that we like,
we'll see how Willow keeps progressing and who they
Yeah.
would tie her with.
we'll see. Maybe they have a pairing that we're gonna die for, and we'll want to use a credit, but we'll see.
It'd be really hard to not want a Boris pup.
Yeah, and they can't breed.
What that's what I mean. Though that we'd keep the bloodline. Mm-hmm. They would be related, which would be kind of cool regardless.
Yeah,
But he's a damn good dog,
yeah, he's gonna be cool.
and see how much more he progresses too, because this was his first year. But
I need to get Willow a vet appointment. Make sure she's all caught up on everything before we go.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, we'll show you what she looks like and keep training. Have fun with it.
Yeah, weather should be turning here, and we'll get back to it and be consistent.
Yeah, I was training in a sweatshirt and sunshine and too warm and no snow, and now we're back to this outside. So it's just kind of a downer right now, but we'll get back to it.
Yeah, I think every person in Wisconsin eventually gets sick of it.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But
Yeah.
we choose to live here. We didn't chose it past tense.
Jeez.
But we still choose to be here now. So.
Thanks for that.
But alrighty,
All right.
we got a kid.
All right.
She just gonna run up here like every other morning.
Yeah, every morning she comes out, but I did tell her we were podcasting.
Oh.
So she probably doesn't want to come up.
Yeah, trying to be respectful.
All right, everyone. Have a good week. Like, share, comment, engage with us, please.
Very, very confident, honey.
Do it now.
Alrighty.
All right.
Thanks.
I love you.
Love you.